Hi, my name is Alita Williams, and I am president of the Rotary Club of Chicago. And I would like to convene the 5,685th meeting of our club. And with that, Chuck Groby is going to give us the thought of the day.
Thank you, Anita. And Alita, thank you. And thank you all distinguished guests and also fellow Rotarians. I've been ruminating about the thought of the day all week. Middle of it. I know. So I thought, with what's going on in the world today, what's going on in our in our the international scene with all the wars and fighting and crazy activity going on worldwide, I think it's important that we, as Americans, as citizens of this country, go back in time in our own history to see how we've uh, achieved our democracy and our greatness throughout history. And it's been a long, difficult road at times, but we all roll with the punches and we come out ahead. And I think it's important that we keep that in mind. So many of the principles that we live by each day have to do with being peaceful, thoughtful, and charitable. So I have the thought for the day is out of the Bible. It's Corinthians 1 that talks about charity. So usually had prayers before luncheons at my previous Rotary Club in Oak Lawn. So this kind of, I know we've all sort of started eating already, but that's all right. We'll just go ahead with this and see how it flies. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up. Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. And now abideth faith, hope, charity. These three, but the greatest of these is charity. So God bless and peace be with you and all your family during this Christmas holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck, for that. Okay, so as we get ready for our speaker, we will do our best to answer all questions. If you are on the Zoom and have questions, please put them into the chat. Please let's honor everyone's time. Keep your questions succinct and one question per person. We have a little issue with that in our club. Marshall, one question per person. Who else? Honcho, one question per person. Um, we will always take those questions. And with that, at this time, if Neetha is going to introduce our speaker.
Thanks, Alita. And I'm really honored to introduce our guest today, Karen Yarbrough. I'll read her bio, and I just wanted to first start with she's definitely a friend of our club, has come visited several times, so I'm really happy now we'll be able to hear from her as a speaker. Karen Yarbrough is the first African American and woman to serve as the clerk of Cook County. As clerk, she oversees one of the largest consolidated clerk's offices in the United States and serves as the chief election authority for suburban Cook County. In December of 2020, Clerk Yarbrough's office assumed all official duties of the former Recorder of Deeds office, an office she previously led, and where she established herself as a national leader in efforts to confront property fraud and advocate for property owners. She now manages the recording of all deeds, property documents, and business forms for all of Cook County, in addition to the traditional duties of the clerk's office, which include maintaining all Cook County vital records and administering suburban Cook County elections. She also functions as the clerk of Cook County Board of Commissioners and operates a veteran service division, providing the free recording of veterans, DD 214 military discharge papers, as well as a military and veterans discount card that offers all active duty military and veterans reduced costs and benefits from hundreds of Cook County businesses. Before her election as recorder and clerk, Ms. Yarbrough was a state representative and assistant majority leader in the Illinois House of Representatives, where she was chief House sponsor of both the Smoke Free Illinois Bill, Public Act 95-0017, and the bill to abolish the death penalty, two landmark pieces of legislation signed into Illinois law. Ms. Yarbrough has a BA from Chicago State University, an MA from Northeastern Illinois University, a certificate of public leadership from Pepperdine University School of Public Policy, and she has completed advanced leadership studies at Harvard Kennedy School of Government. She's also a certified elections registration administrator. On the personal front, Ms. Yarbrough and her husband Henderson, who's also here, have a blended family of 6 and share 12 grandchildren and 3 great grandchildren. And lastly, I just wanted to mention she's also a really proponent of wellness, and she's really has helped her team also with that, with the yoga and wellness. Thank you. With that, welcome Ms. Yarbrough, Clerk Yarbrough. Thank you.
Thank you, Neetha and Alita. Thank you so much. This is not my first time here, but I'm certainly happy to be here as your speaker today. So thank you for inviting me to speak today. I am one fortunate person because I have a number of people in the audience right now who are Rotarians or friends of Rotary. And I would just like you, I know you're eating, just raise your hand. Look at there, look at there. Thank you so very much for coming today. Now, I'm fortunate in the role that I serve as clerk of Cook County to have the opportunity to speak with many groups throughout Chicagoland area and all throughout Cook County. By the way, does this thing work or not? Oh, it does work. Okay, just checking. Okay. But I'm thrilled to be here to speak to Rotary Club because I am a Rotarian. I'm the past president of the Proviso Club, and our president, I believe, is on Zoom down in Decatur trying to keep those kids together down there. Like all of you, I am deeply invested in the principles and values of Rotary. And I understand that the Rotary Club, of course, was founded right here in Chicago. Being a Rotarian to me is so much more than being part of a civic organization or service organization. It connects us with diverse groups of people who have a commitment to each other and to collectively find opportunities to work together to make this a better place. And to be honest, I think I might have been born to be a Rotarian. My father was a Rotarian, and I never would join because I thought it was like a breakfast club or a luncheon club, and I didn't have time for that. So I told him, I said, Dad, I'll just show up at some of the events that you have, and I did. But when he passed away in 2018, I made a commitment to be in his seat at our Rotary Club, and that is where I am. Now, you've heard my introduction. I began my career in government in the Illinois legislature, and I enjoyed the legislature, but I looked at it as an opportunity for me to learn, and I learned a lot. I looked at it as an opportunity also to get some things done, and I got some things done. I was a serious legislator. I didn't have a second job. My total focus was how could I effectuate public policy to try to make this a better place. I rose to the rank of assistant majority leader and had the privilege to pass both the death penalty abolition bill, and we can be in a room like this today, and you'll want to thank me for this because you don't have to deal with the smoke. You want to thank me now or you want to thank me later? Yeah, you can thank me now. That was a very difficult, and whether you're a smoker or not, I didn't care. I was really concerned about people who were not smokers, who did not want the smoke in their lungs, in their hair, in their clothes, etc. It was a public health issue for me, and that's what I focused on. I've always been drawn to public service and always been interested in elections, democracy, and the political process. So when the position of first recorder of deeds and then clerk became available, I threw my hat in the ring. These are some of the services that we offer in the clerk's office. What's interesting to me about my office is that the treasurer has one job, the assessor has one job, the who else do we have? Board of Review, they have one job. Tom Dart, he's a sheriff, he has one job. Karen Yarbrough has six. 6 jobs. Boy, you're getting a bargain having me as your clerk in Cook County. Now, I was successful, obviously I was successful in those elections because I'm here before you now. We are one of the largest consolidated clerk's offices in the nation. And I travel throughout the nation listening to my peers because I want to always know what best practices are in all of those areas that I represent you. One of our focuses, obviously, in the Nerve Center has to do with our elections department. And I'm grateful and thankful that I have somebody like Ed Michalowski as our deputy clerk of elections. And I'd like him to stand. He's the guy. His department runs elections for suburban Cook County. So many times I hear from people complaining about whatever's going on in Chicago. Let me be clear that suburban Cook County, okay, and I believe we have what, 1.6 million voters in suburban Cook County, and in Chicago 1.4 million. So the suburbs are kind of taking over here. We have a big job. And let me just say that during COVID, it was a very big job because we had to figure it out because guess what? The election had to go on. And it went on. And those brave soldiers, and I'm calling them soldiers because our election judges, I can't thank them enough for the work that they do on election day to make sure democracy goes on. So as I mentioned, our elections department is the hub of the clerk's office, and we're gearing up for woohoo 2024. You can imagine that's going to be a doozy, right? But regardless of the candidates, it's a massive responsibility to manage this process. Since becoming clerk, I've been focused on updating and improving the infrastructure of our elections operation. And we've made some significant progress and investments to modernizing the voting process. We've invested in new equipment. You see our new poll pads here. Introduced a new voters registration and election management system. We also constructed a new mail ballot processing center to handle the substantial increase in those votes. Now, mail ballot voting, I don't know what we would have done during the pandemic if we didn't have the opportunity to do that because people were afraid. They just were. And that's why I called the judges soldiers because they showed up. Let me tell you what happened during that process. We had ordered somewhere in the neighborhood of $40,000 worth of PPP so that people would have gloves and protective equipment and what have you. And guess what happened? It didn't show up. It didn't show up. What was I to do? So I looked to my soldiers, and guess what they did? They showed up at the polling places. They had gloves. They had that, whatever that spray stuff is they use. They had masks. They were ready to go to work. And I can't thank those folks enough. They don't get paid nearly enough for the work that they do. So if you can manage a crisis like that, I just figure we can do anything, right, Ed? We could do anything in the clerk's office, but we get the job done. So expanding access to the ballot has been a top priority for me, and we've made great strides to do so. About 35% of households speak another language other than English in our county. I worked with some of the commissioners in Cook County to support the Voting Opportunity and Translation Equity Ordinance. This measure tripled the number of languages on the ballot from 4 to 12. And it was a beautiful thing to see on election day that people saw their ballot in their own language. We're going to do more in that area, but I'm happy that we took the step to do it. The vote ordinance also resulted in important election materials being translated. Now, I've been a long advocate. I spent a lot of time in Springfield trying to help people who were incarcerated. The average time I think a person is incarcerated is about 8 months. What do they do when they get out? Certainly, they want to get a job, a place to stay, and there are a number of barriers for them to do so. But one of the things they can't do if they're incarcerated in a state prison is they can't vote. But once they come out, they can. The vote ordinance, it was an important election. We worked with, I'm trying to think, we worked with the city, we worked with the governor, we worked with a lot of people to make sure people like this young man right here, who was incarcerated in the jail, to be able to vote in the jail. Now, when people are in jail, they haven't been, what's that word? They haven't been, what? Convicted. And so we automatically just take their rights away, right? So if they haven't been convicted, why can't they vote? They can in Cook County. And Ed can tell you more about what other jurisdictions they can also vote. But I was so proud to be there. We work with Jesse Jackson, a ton of people. I mean, there's a cast of folks that we work with to do this because it was, guess what, the right thing to do. Many of these folks that may be in jail may just serve their time in jail and then they come back out. But this young man here, you see that smile on his face? We saw a lot of smiles that day. Next up, now I hope we don't have a lot of trouble with this 2024 election. But any of you who were paying attention the last couple of years, there was a lot of voter distrust out there. Now, not so much in Cook County, but when I confer with many of my colleagues across the United States, there were all kinds of things going on. I remember one woman in New Mexico who shared with me they moved a voting location almost 20 miles away from where the people lived. And these were Native Americans. They did not have cars. They were very poor people. And she was trying to get the attention of somebody to help her. I didn't know, I was just flabbergasted somebody would try to keep someone from exercising their right to vote. Would you not agree that our democracy, while it's fragile, it's important, and everybody should have that opportunity to vote? So I talked with that young woman afterwards, and I said, well, what are you going to do? And she said, well, we were in Washington. She said, well, I thought if I came here and I talked to some of the Congress people here, maybe they could help me. And she said, but I know my congressperson won't. Elections have consequences, okay? They just do. And you should pay attention to who you're voting for. You need to check people's backgrounds and, where they've been and what they're doing and all of those kinds of things because they have consequences. Don't they? Anyway, she went back to her state. I heard from her a little later. She said they moved it a little closer in, but it was only 10 miles away. Can you imagine if you had to go 10 miles? By the way, no buses, no trains, and most of them didn't have cars. Can you imagine if you wanted to vote and you had to walk somewhere almost 10 miles to vote? How many of you would do that? Let's see your hands. Come on now, we all support our democracy. I see 2 hands. Oh, everybody else will let our democracy go to hell in a handbasket, right? Who cares who's president, vice president, and the rest of those things, right? I care, and I'd probably walk the 10 miles just to exercise my right to vote. Anyway, this growing distrust had us to come up with, on our webpage, we have this whole page on election security so that you would have an idea of what we go through to make sure that your vote is secure. Um, Again, like I said, we don't have some of the problems that they have in some of the other states, but I don't know what 2024 is going to bring. I just know we're going to be prepared. I know we have a gentleman on staff that reviews our everything that dealing with technology for us, and I'm thankful and grateful for him because anything comes up, he's on the phone calling saying, "Hey, this is a threat." And I just appreciate that we have somebody like that on staff. Now, I'm going to make a pitch here. How many of you have ever served as election judges? One, two, 3. Oh, all my staff, right? One. Okay, all right. I'm going to make a pitch though. If you would, and if you could, we would love to have you be with us on election day. I know it's a long day, and I know we can't pay you a lot of money, but the experience of being a judge is so rewarding. You'll meet your neighbors that you don't even talk to, live next door to you, and stuff like that. But you do talk to your neighbors. Nobody talks to their neighbors. Okay, fine. Anyways, I'm going to make this pitch. Please reach out to us. If you live in Chicago, reach out to Chicago Board. Come work with us on election day. It is such a rewarding experience. Guess who did step up? We asked folks to go and, go to war for us. So we decided we would ask veterans to step up one more time to help us with this process. I don't remember the numbers right now, but I know we were down several thousand judges, and we were in a quandary trying to figure out what could we do? Who would step up? And guess who did? Do we have any veterans in the room? Yeah. No. Yay. Maybe we can get you to step up one more time too, right? Maybe. They did though. Over 2,000 of them did. And I'm thankful and grateful and blessed that they did, because one more election under the belt, we got it done, and we got it done with people who believe in democracy and want to make sure we get that job done. We do have a veteran service office in our office, and we give a free services. We're mandated by the state to record their DD 214s. And so when they come in, we give them a military discount card that's good for all kinds of services and what have you. The other thing is they get free Sox tickets. You like socks? Oh, somebody that likes socks. What about Cubs? I don't know. Both of them. Boo. I don't. Anyway, but they like them. And so nothing like free Sox tickets. And I think the Grizzlies, is that what? Chicago Bulls. Wolf. Okay, free tickets for them too. We like that. Okay, all right. There we go. So you can get details about this and other programs that we offer in the clerk's office by going to our website at cookcountyclerk.com. In closing, this is a picture of our veteran service office. I want to thank you for your time and attention today, but I have to give a shout out to my club. We are going to celebrate 100 years of being a club in January. We are very excited about this. We want all of you to come and join us. The chair is sitting right over there, and he'd be happy to take your money. Yeah, there's Bob right there. We'd love to have you come and join us. But 100 years, that says plenty. And obviously, this club has gone through a lot, like every club. Every Rotary club I've seen has gone through a lot. but we're still here. So with that, Alita, I'm open to answer any questions that there might be. I hope I hope you learned something today.
Welcome, you Zoomites. Um, I just wondered, do you have to be a resident of the community where you serve as an election judge, or can you serve as an election judge in other communities where you don't live?
Ed?
The only qualification to serve as an election judge is to be a registered voter in Illinois. So you could serve in any community in Illinois, provided you are a registered voter in Illinois.
How you like that answer? That's why I brought him. He gives lengthy answers to stuff. Any other questions?
Thank you much.
Yes.
So much for coming and speaking to our club. I was curious too, because you mentioned, threats and protecting from potential IT or hacks for the upcoming elections. You mentioned happening in other states. Have you, and I hope the answer is no, but I'm worried if the answer is somewhat, have you had any type of harassment or threats in terms of just your office and all that kind of stuff? Because I know others, clerks and elections administrators have had that issue for the last couple of years.
I have not. But we're ready. We're locked and loaded. Ready, right? Right, Ed? We're ready in case we do. We know that our colleagues across the United States are having some very, very difficult times. And all we want to do is make sure that the election goes on. And we're going to do everything in our power to do that.
A great number of the voters are 18 years old and students in schools. Have you done anything to facilitate students in school being able to vote?
Absolutely. We have an innovative program. It's a pilot program, actually, at this point, where we are working with some of our community colleges. And this is really innovative, by the way, because we want them. Now, you were primarily probably talking about high school or what have you. We certainly reach out to the high schools, and we have a number of young people. Thank God for those young people, okay? They've got young legs and young arms and fertile minds, and they get it when it comes to the technology. But this innovative program that I'm talking about right now, we've worked with 3 different community colleges. They've come up with some curriculum in which we're going to provide them with some information so that the kids will learn. Once they learn, we're going to put them to work, and I believe, Ed, we're going to pay them like what, $600-700 for the day, something like that, and they're going to get a credit hour for participating. How? Wow, that's great. Now, so far, I think we've had a small amount of students to engage, but we're looking for more schools to get involved with us on this. Civics, for the most part, is not taught in schools, and that's why, I don't know about you, but I remember the first time I voted, and I watched my parents vote, and a lot of that is not going on. So you went to vote for the very first time, are you going to know what to do? And the answer to that is usually no. So they won't be afraid or, concerned or what have you. We need to get them young. We need to engage them in this whole process. Remember, our democracy really is on the ballot. So we've been joined by City Treasurer, hi, Melissa Irvin. She's also a member of our club.
Thank you. Do you look in the future? What I'm seeing is a decentralization of, a centralization of voting, meaning that instead of voting in your precinct on election day, that you'll be able to go anywhere in the city or anywhere in this jurisdiction that you wish to go vote. Do you see us moving in that direction? And if so, when do you think something like that would happen?
There are some states that don't bother with any of that. It's all vote by mail. I think Oregon, Washington, there's one other state that I know of. The idea of that, there's some entity, they're doing it already. Chicago is a different animal, and you're a Chicago alderman. Maybe you could tell me about that. But I can speak for Cook. We're not ready to do anything like that. I really would like to go to vote by mail. I really would. That's what we did. The problems, they're problems. We're big. We're really big. So some of these entities are smaller and they can handle it. But I think Oregon's been doing it for years. For years. We just want people engaged in the process. We do. Was there another? Okay. Okay.
Thank you for a great talk. I'm relatively new to Chicago, so it's great to learn from the person in charge who knows so much, to point out people to chat with and programs to learn about and all of that. So thanks very much. I'm curious, because you have not been having the experience that some of the other agencies have had.
Don't wake them up. Please don't wake them up.
Okay, I was wondering what you thought you were doing that was keeping that from happening.
The right things. We're doing the right things. It's called CYA, and we do the right things. Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm not looking for this, by the way. I'm just not looking for this. For the most part, the people who work on elections, they're engaged, they know what they're doing, they're trained, and they're wonderful people. Now, some people who show up to vote, some of them aren't so nice, but our judges know how to de-escalate situations when they present themselves. And we have a sheriff that takes no prisoners. And we just haven't had all of that. Now, there's some pockets in some areas in suburban Cook that, you know, there have been some little fires, but not even fires, maybe smoke, but they're quickly extinguished. So, but we're not looking for that. But as I mentioned, we are prepared. Who'd you have on Zoom?
Yes, we have one on Zoom from Chief Valdemar Talley. Says, talk about your program to protect property, please.
How much time do we have? 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes. Can I do that in 2 minutes? Okay, so I have to tell a story if I'm going to talk about protecting property owners. When I was in the legislature, I got a call from not this treasurer, but from a different treasurer, who said somebody stole her home. And her name is Stephanie. And I said, Stephanie, what are you talking about? I'm busy. I don't have time for this. She said, seriously, somebody has changed the name on my deed. Well, I said, can you call me? Can you call me later and we can talk about this? She said, I'm serious. It did happen. And it happened in the recorder of deeds office. So I didn't know what to tell her. I didn't know how this could happen and what have you. Long story short, when I became the recorder of deeds, I found out how it happens. And we put a number, actually we passed probably 4 or 5 laws to make sure certain things didn't happen. We started educating the public about what they need to do. Now, how many of you in the room know, own your home, first of all? How many of you own your home? Okay, second question, how do you know? What? How do you know? Where is it? Oh, it's in a box. Okay, he's got a deed in a box somewhere, and that's how he knows. I would submit to you that you do not know what you own unless you go to my website and you bring up your PIN number and you look and see. And if you haven't done that, you do not know that you own your home. Okay? cookcountyklerk.gov. Thank you. Oh, did we take care of that person? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Don't go.
Oh, I gotta go?
Nope, you don't get to go yet.
No go.
So I want to thank you so much for coming today. And we have a gift. I know we got new cups. We have a cup from the Rotary Club of Chicago to have your coffee or tea. And then also you have a cookie from Al's Cookie Mix. My friend Alvin Green started a cookie company because his son is autistic and his friends. And so he started a cookie company. So him and his friends, his son's friends, had a job once they aged out of the CPS because they age out at 21, and then they're just, here you go, you all are done. And so he was like, they need a next step. And so he started Al's Cookie Mix in order to give them that next step. So with the QR code, you do get a 10% discount, and it's an awesome website. You actually get to build your own cookie. You pick your base, you pick what you want in it. That is my favorite, is double chocolate with pretzels and the cranberries. It's very good. But so please support our cookie mix, especially for the holidays.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So we have a lot of Rotarians in a room. So visiting Rotarians in a room. So I'm just going to ask that you, when the microphone comes to you, to please stand, say your name, your club, and how long you've been a Rotarian. I'm going to make it quick that way. So we're going to start right there.
Hi, Bob Lipka, Rotary Club of Maywood, Proviso, 7 years.
Thank you.
Bonnie Lebka, also a member of Maywood Proviso. I brought him in when he retired. 28 years.
Wow, thank you.
Viola Manners, Proviso Maywood Club, 11 years.
Thank you.
Andre Pate, Maywood Proviso, 3 years.
Cedric Giles, Maywood Proviso. If he said 3, I'm gonna say 4 years.
Brian Cross, Maywood Proviso. I'm going with 3 years.
Angela Wright Madison, Maywood Proviso Club, 1 year.
Gabriel Fakori, Maywood Proviso Club, 3 years.
T.R. Alstrom, I'm at Concordia University, and I'm a guest of Bob Lipka today. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Travis Richardson, Maywood Proviso, 3 years.
Who am I missing?
Henderson Yarbrough, Maywood Proviso, since 1986. Contract.
Thank you.
Melissa Conyers Irvin, Chicago City Treasurer, and Maywood Proviso Rotarian, I think about 1 year.
Do we have any visitors in the room that are non-Rotarians?
Hi, I'm Michelle Hunt, and I'm a visitor today. I'm also a friend of Rotary for the Maywood Proviso organization or Rotary Club, and also attendee on and off for about 28 years.
Hello, I'm Meredith Darnell, and I'm visiting today. Thank you.
Thank you. The alderman in the front seat, please.
Thank you, Jason Irvin. I'm actually a former member of the Maywood Proviso Club, and I'm alderman in the 28th Ward on the west side of Chicago.
And all our visitors on Zoom, if you would like to unmute and introduce yourself.
Valdemir Talley, I'm the president of the Maywood Proviso Rotary Club, and I've been 10 years.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. My name is Johnny Diggs, member of the Maywood Proviso Rotary Club. What's for lunch?
We had roasted pork loin and it was amazing. Anyone else? That's it. Okay, so thank you very much. And Maywood Proviso, you can come more often. You don't have to come just when Karen comes. You know, we're open. We're here every Tuesday. You can come more often. We love. I know. Every time she comes, she brings the contingent. I love it every time. All right. And there we go. For any of our visitors that are not Rotarians, you know, we invite you to speak to anyone here about membership. You're sitting right next to Andrew, so you have the perfect person, my membership chair, and Sarah, our president-elect. And, oops, I did something wrong. And always invite a friend to come to one of our meetings. All of our meetings are on our calendar. Next week is our annual meeting. Sorry, our club annual meeting. So you can come and learn about all the things that we are doing, the state of the club, and all those other wonderful things about our club. And this is our nomination slate for the 2024-2025 year. President nominee Shader Calderwood. Robert Harney is very nicely going to stay on as secretary, hopefully. Our treasurer, Still Wimham. Director Ryan Kuro. Director Alexander Gordon. And Director Nancy Collabrenner. We have a volunteer opportunity. Me and Ryan were outside today ringing the bell for the Salvation Army, and we will have the opportunity next week also. I do think we're going to try to start earlier so we can get people on their way to work. So we might start at 9 o'clock or 8:30. That'll change in the gyrator and go out. But please sign up. And we also brought the kettle inside. So if you all would like to donate to the kettle, it is here or at the wonderful little piggy banks on your table. All of that will be sent to the Salvation Army, and whatever we raise at the meetings, inside the meetings, we will match. And next Tuesday, we also have a holiday craft fair where we are working with the Union League Boys and Girls Club, but Sarah can tell you more about that.
Okay, thank you, Alita. So next Tuesday, we have a holiday event with the Union League Boys and Girls Club. I've been mentioning this for a couple of weeks. We've got a few volunteers. We're always looking for more. So this will be for kindergarten through second graders. We'll have 75 little ones. So we need volunteers. We'll be doing a craft with them. We're giving them 2 books as a gift. And the location is on 19th Street, just past Damon. And so if you are available and interested in helping us wrangle 75 kindergarten through second graders, that would be great. And additionally, if you speak Spanish, you are doubly encouraged to come as this is a bilingual event. So speaking Spanish is not a requirement, but for those in our club who do speak Spanish, please, if you're able, come join us.
Thank you, Sarah. And always every Wednesday, we have a volunteer opportunity at Cornerstone Center, where it is a soup kitchen where we feed differently housed and food insecure people. Last week, we had about 20 extra people, so we have now gone up to doing about 200 to 212 meals every Wednesday. Although we will be closed the same 2 weeks that Rotary is closed. But I know I'm very excited. Only because I work a lot, so I get 2 weeks off. I am the food service coordinator there, so I'm there every single Wednesday. We would love some help with that. Please donate to the Rotary Foundation and the Rotary One Foundation. Everything we do is because of these 2 foundations. The Rotary One Foundation does our service budget. because when we give to that budget, the more that we can get back to our committees in order to do more in our communities and internationally, and all of our different service committees, our youth programs, our scholarships that we're able to give out. We can't do that if we don't donate. And the Rotary Foundation, that's how we get the DDF funds to do all the wonderful work that we do around the world. Our club does the max number of global grants that they can do every single year. I am amazed how they keep up with the money and the grants and the paperwork and everything that we do. But all of these things are done because we give to the Rotary Foundation or the Rotary One Foundation. And download the Ignite app. It's a great way to see about your club, register people, sign up new members. Someone says they're interested in being a member, you can send it to them right there. Send them the application on the app. You can take service selfies, all of those wonderful things. And that's the QR code for our gyrator for this week. If you would like to be on the email list for the gyrator, Sarah can help you with that if you're not a member. All of our committee meetings that are coming up. And we have our Friday roundtable, our annual meeting next week. There will be no meetings December 26th and January 2nd and January 9th. We may be having a tequila tasting. I'm not sure. We're trying to get that together. So just in case you like tequila, we have a member here who owns a tequila company. So we're trying to do that. And then January 16th, we have Lori Mullen. Please make sure if you can't make it, we don't want to waste food. So please let the office know as soon as possible if you're not able to make it. And with that, if I could ask the treasurer if she would come up and help us lead the four-way test. Yes, yes. You. We have a cheat sheet.
She said there it is. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I looked at Karen. I'm like, Karen, wait. Just answer.
Yep.
Is it truth?
Is it?
Is it the truth?
Right. Is it? You say number one.
Oh.
Yeah. The four-way test.
The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Number one.
Is it true?
I got it. Number two. Number three.